Go to the next one. This is Jan Andrade. It says, hi, my name is Jan Andrade. I'm a self-taught 3D artist from Brazil. My main goal is to work in the game industry as a 3D asset environment artist. As why we challenge artists, but keep searching. Yeah, so the reason why it's been challenging, my friend, is because, again, similar to what we've been mentioning throughout this whole portfolio review, your complexity is not there. Like, what is this? It's just a base. It's a single base, and I understand. But it's a model that I can literally do in 3 minutes, man. Texturing definitely takes a little bit more time. I can see you spent a little bit of like time texturing the cracks and the dirt and stuff like that. But this is not impressive, right, Jan? Like if you see this on someone else, like this is something that you always need to ask yourself, my friends. If you see your work in someone else's portfolio, are you gonna be like, oh, that's cool? Or are you gonna be like, meh? If you're like, meh, then it's not. If you think that this is gonna be meh in someone else's portfolio, then it's gonna be meh on your portfolio. Okay, that's the sort of like takeaway of this thing. So it's a fun base, but it's not good. This is a little bit more interesting. This stylized box, but again, you need to try and see how can we make this thing look better with more elements. So what I see here, man, is you have the base, the box, you have this chest right here. So if you combine those three into a small little scene, now you have one thing that looks, oh, that's a little bit more interesting because we have more stuff. But if you keep them separate just to fill in your portfolio, that's not going to help you, okay? So it's very, very important to think about the complexity of your things. Again, metal frames, barrels, and that's it. Lockers. There were again, guys, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Jan, what the hell, man? Like, thumbnail, work on your thumbnails, guys. Thumbnails are very important because down here, yes, you're doing exactly what I told you. You have cones, you have this metal beams, you have like a lot of things that make up something that looks a little bit more interesting. Now just do a wall, do a floor, and you have a little diorama, like a little thingy that you can show, and it's going to show a better result. Careful again with your metal edgeworks, okay? How do you get such bright lighting without being too harsh? What do you mean? For what? Shukito says, I'm new here in this part of life, but I've already seen a lot of your shorts from YouTube. It's difficult to get a job as a junior today. The main problem is that I'm from Argentina and here, yeah, it's very difficult. Yes. Right now, my friends, unfortunately, the industry is in a position. Here, let me explain what happened. Let's go in a little bit of a history lesson. And some of the older artists right here, they're gonna help me, like, clear some stuff. So right now we're here, right? 2024. In the 2010s, the industry started growing and growing and growing and growing very, very exponentially. If you remember, World of Warcraft, like Lich King, was around 2007, if I'm not mistaken, right around there. And that's where games just started like really, really, really advancing. We had like Xbox 360 and we had PlayStation 2 and stuff like that. And everything was going like super, super high. And then we hit the pandemic right around here. So all through this point, the industry is just growing, 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 growing. And when the pandemic hit, one thing that happened is everyone went inside and there was nothing else to do but do entertainment, right? Video games, Netflix, movies, series, stuff like that. So people hire like stupidly amounts of people or amount of persons. And that's why Disney started producing so many shows and so many series and things like that. But now that the pandemic's over, this is going down. And it's going down rapidly. So people realize that they overhired, and this is not in our industry, not only in our industry, but in other industries. So people overhired, and not only that, the project budgets went from having little amount of money injected into them to having a stupid amount of money being injected into them. Like ridiculous amount, like millions and millions and millions of money were being spent in developing games and series and content. And what happens now is that they're spending this much amount of money, and then you get games like Forsaken, right? That failed. You get games like this new one that we just saw a couple of weeks ago, this MOBA shooter, and it failed. And you get games that are failing and failing. So it's a stupid amount of money and it's failing. So the problem here is that studios now want to go back to doing lower budget productions, and therefore the amount of people that they need for these lower productions is being reduced. So that's why you're not seeing a lot of things, because people are realizing, hey, we need to bet a lot of money into making a game, and now making a game is not even a guarantee that that game is going to make the money back. So if I'm an investor, I might just take that money to somewhere else, like real estate or like stocks or whatever, because it's going to be a more like efficient and secure way to get my money back. That's why we're suffering from all of these things. Yes, no, we do have games that have been like breaking expectations. We had Baldur's Gate last year. We have Black Myth Wukong this year. Nintendo, of course, is always like on top of the game. So I'm not saying that the industry is in shambles and that there's no like ways to recover from it. I'm just saying that investors and studios are realizing that just throwing money blindly into a game production and inflating the costs like ridiculously by hiring a lot of people and a lot of voice actors and a lot of whatever, it's not a guarantee anymore of getting that money back. And since that's happening, everything is contracting. Another example I can give you guys, there was this movie last year, Godzilla Minus One, right? And they were an amazing film. Look at that, 98% Rotten Tomatoes. And I think the budget for the VFX was super small compared to what big productions such as Marvel's movies were doing. And it's just this sort of like adaptation processes. But then we have it's always sort of like a seesaw thing. And this is the problematic thing. Again, investors were investing a lot of money. So money goes up, work goes up. And now realize like, hey, money is not the solution. Let's cut out the workers. Let's cut this out to save money. But they go all the way to the other position where they cut so many workers out and so many like necessary elements like good writers, good story, good artists, and now they're gonna start like producing shitty stuff because there's a lot of people that are not doing the job the way they should be doing it. And they're also going to be getting losses. So it needs to be a balance, okay? It's going to be a balance where people are going to realize, hey, yes, we need to pay a certain amount of money to get a certain amount of quality, and then we need to give them time, like the meme right now, give them time to cook. That's why Baldur's Gate was so good. That's why Black Myth Wukong is so good right now, because those studios are making sure that they're getting enough time and money to realize their specific vision, right, for the game. So unfortunately, we're in that sort of like in between where there's not enough money in the industry, and people are not understanding that we need time and money to get to that point. So it's this balancing act where hopefully in the next couple of months or years, things are gonna balance out a little bit more. So yeah, first impressions are really important. Diablo 4 like completely like missed the mark. Cyberpunk missed the mark, and now they're sort of like recovering from it. But that's why I like Nintendo's philosophy, where they say that it's better to delay a game until it's really good rather than like just launch something that's like shitty, right? Exactly. And also, as Frajola says, I've seen really talented artists, peers of mine, who have been working in top tier productions, and they're now looking for a job. So if a studio is hiring, they're probably going to hire them first before they hire a junior artist, right? So that's the problematic thing. But again, this will change. It's how, and again, the veterans here in the industry won't let me lie. This has been cyclical. It has happened before. I've mentioned that this is the time or the point in my career where it's been one of the worst sort of like down like sides of the industry, but everything comes back up and people will realize like, hey, we need to hire, we need to invest, and economies will move again. But it's a complicated thing. Okay, so that was Jan Andrade, right? Yeah, that was Jan. Cool, let's go to the next one. Cloud Guy. Okay, we got 1 hour, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Wow, we got 26 portfolios to go. Oh man, can we do it? Can we do it in 1 hour? I don't think we're gonna be able to do it in 1 hour. Let's take a look.